Yes, Blues fans, it's me again, the boy in blue. We are back with another podcast. This is episode 11 of the Royal Blue podcast with a special guest, Sheffield Wednesday fan, Ash. How you doing, Ash? You all right?
Yeah, I'm good, thanks, mate. I want a special guest, mate. Makes me sound a little bit important.
Well, you're a fellow YouTuber, content creator. Yeah, of course you are.
Try to be, mate. Try to be.
So you are a Sheffield Wednesday fan, obviously, and you do your own channel as well.
Yeah.
So how are you getting on with that and stuff?
Yes, mate. Yeah, Sheffield Wednesday fan. Yeah, part of the Wednesday week. There's about 8 of us on the podcast. We'll take it in turns. We do YouTube, Twitter, TikTok, all the usual social media things. Yeah, it's going well, mate. It's never a dull day at Sheffield Wednesday, so we have plenty of content most of the time. No thanks to our chairman most of the time, but yeah, on the field, off the field, it's not dull to be a Sheffield Wednesday fan, shall I say that?
Oh, fair play, mate. That's it, mate. That's something that you enjoy and stuff. I mean, how long have you been doing it for now? Has it been going a few years or recently or?
Yeah, the podcast has been going. I think it's about 12 years now. So it's one of the really old podcasts. I think when it all first started, I've been on and involved about 5 years now. A good friend of mine, he was one of the originals. He's still on there, Dan, and he got me on board to talk about Sheffield Wednesday, because I do like to talk crap a lot of time, or rubbish, excuse my French. But yeah, it's just a good laugh. I mean, we record on Monday nights. We do all sorts of different shows and things. It's just like talking to your mates in the pub, and some people listen. So it's all good, mate. It's great. There's thousands of us out there, isn't there? All different clubs, talking about things that we love, and football is a common one, isn't it?
Yeah, that's it, mate. That's it. So we're going to start this podcast off, mate, talking about you guys. You are now sitting 22nd, and you are just shy of 3 points from behind Huddersfield that are sitting 21st. So you could potentially be getting out the relegation. Sound the way it's going.
I bet you wouldn't have thought you were saying that a few months ago, would you?
No,
I certainly wasn't. I certainly wasn't.
You know, that's good though, isn't it? You know, for you guys. So now you're sitting 22nd. You've won 6 out of 26, lost 16, drew 4. So you got 22 points, and you're just shy of 3 points behind Huddersfield. So I mean, how's that for you? Like, are you feeling a little bit more confident now for the rest of the season, or?
100%, mate. 100%. Yeah. I mean, it's well documented the start of the season we had with obviously the departure of Darren Moore in the summer, and then the absolute catastrophic appointment. I mean, I'm talking to you about catastrophic appointments, but of Cisco Munez. He came in after Darren Moore in the summer, and basically we got, I don't know, what was it, 2 draws out of the 10 games we had. It was absolutely horrendous appointment. So being that off safety with 10 games in, 11 games with Neil Thompson took one of the games while we got our new manager in, Danny Roll. It was looking very bleak, Sheffield Wednesday, and a lot of people wrote us off. And it is an amazing turnaround to say that it's the same players, it's the same squad that Cisco had. And it just shows, doesn't it, that, I mean, a manager does make a difference. And on the flip side, obviously, you did exactly the same.
I know.
But a bit reversed. It was the mirror. It was you were doing really good, got a manager, and then didn't do so well. So it's very similar. We're very similar, mate. But you're going in the wrong direction. We're going in the right direction at the minute. But yes, mate, it was
good for you, bad for us.
It was statistically the worst start on Championship record, I believe. The worst start in Sheffield Wednesday's history from a manager. It was very, very bleak. And fair play to the chairman, which it's not very often we can say that about our chairman, that he's made the decision, and it looks like at the minute, like we say, with 26 games gone, 3 points behind, he's made a good appointment with Danny Rule.
Yeah. Can you see yourselves getting out of this and potentially staying up? Or
look, don't get me wrong. It is still a mountain. It is for all the teams down there now. From I'd say personally from 16th
Birmingham
down.
up.
Swansea City 16th down. I think for every one of them teams. I do really see it's the positivity that we thought we wouldn't see this season with the new manager and the results he's got. At the time of recording, we had a great result in the FA Cup against Cardiff, who we did lose against in the league a couple of weeks ago. So it's just, definitely, mate. I know January's open, and anything can happen in January as well. It's a big turning point for some teams, isn't it? In who they can bring in,
definitely.
Who they can get rid of. And I am full of positivity. I think 99.9% of Wednesday fans, if you talk to them, would be and are, which is great to see, because we weren't like that after 11 games in the league. Certainly not.
I think it goes a long way, doesn't it? Like if you try and be positive, and obviously I know it's not ideal, like how you've started off and where you are, but obviously like if the fans can try and find some sort of, ground and try and root for the squad, I think it does have an impact of how the players play as well. Do you find that as well, Ad?
It must do, mate. It really must do, because the fans, the players, the club, this season were really on the knees. The players, like I said before, it was the same players, the same squad, but for some reason there's just been a switch, and for some reason, I know the reason, it's Danny Rule and his backroom staff. It's the players, the staff that's been brought in that have instilled a bit of belief. The way he set them up playing, and when you're winning games for everybody, it's great feeling. The Hillsborough before, it was awful. You probably heard yourself at St Andrews. It's the boos, it's the cat calling for the manager, and our owner as well had it both barrels. And it not just wins, not just 3 points on the board, but the manager has really took a hold of the whole club, and the fans are on that ride as well. That really invested in it. Good,
and that's what it needs, mate. At times. I mean, one of the reasons what I wanted to talk to you about was obviously we won 2 games, didn't we? 4-1. We beat Huddersfield, and then we beat Albion the week after 3-1 under John Eustace. And then we heard these rumours about Wayne Rooney for weeks beforehand and stuff. It was it wasn't set in stone, but it was a matter of case of when it was going to happen, kind of thing. And then he got appointed. We then went on to play 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 games before we played against you guys. And in those 5 games, we lost 4 and drew 1. And then that takes us on to when we met. And we beat you 2-1. But I mean,
all right, next game. Right, move on. We don't need to talk about.
No, but what I want to talk about is your views of the appointment of Wayne Rooney. What you thought at the time, and obviously your analysis of what you thought of how Blues have played against you guys.
Well, don't get me wrong, I don't obviously follow Birmingham that closely. You're in our league, and obviously we look at the results leading up to our games against each other. But you do look at the league, even though after 6, 7, 8 games, you always do have a look. And Birmingham flying high really got a good momentum there. And then obviously you've got this new buyout, you've got these investors, you've got new owners, they've got big grandiose ideas, haven't they? Of course, not all right then. Eustace, not a sexy manager, should we call it? So you want someone who's coming to buy your club. He's going to go, right, I want Jose Mourinho, I want Clark. You know what I mean? He wants a name. He wants somebody coming in. And obviously the name that was banded about was Wayne Rooney. Now, don't get me wrong, he did all right at DC. He did not so bad at Derby, not great, but he's a name, isn't he?
Yeah.
But he's a name for not the wrong reason. The reason is a fantastic player. He was.
Yeah, he was. Yeah, superb, wasn't he?
And we've seen, haven't we? We've seen Gerrard, Lampard, now Rooney. The list can go on and on about exceptional players that just don't seem to have clicked as a manager. And it was just, and I wouldn't, and I'm not speaking for all fans of other clubs in the league and stuff, but you look at like Birmingham and they've appointed Rooney, but they're flying high. They're in the playoffs. They've had a cracking start to the season. And you go, why have they changed the manager now? I mean, we changed it. We were rock bottom. We could not buy a win. We played awful. We had to change the manager. Now, if Xisco Muniz for Sheffield Wednesday were 6th and 7th, 8th, even, I'll tell you what, even probably 15th and above, at the stage that Birmingham made their choice, change, it'd have been a heads con. It would have been. And you think, all right, then, they've made the decision. The top guys have done it. They've got in. And then you just see it. You just see Birmingham, don't you? Just plummet like a stone with result after result.
It was just mad, mate. I mean, I love the club, and I support like anybody who's in charge of the board. And if they've got ideas, I love the club. I'll fully back them. But there's only so much that you can back them for when it's not going your way. And obviously, like, results matter, don't they? Like on the pitch and stuff, and obviously, like in the league table, it goes to show. But it was just getting, like, as the weeks were getting on, mate, I wanted it to work, you know what I mean? Like, I did like to prove a lot of people wrong, but, I was just kidding myself in the end, and I think a lot of other fans was as well. There was a massive divide in the fans. I think that, like, hurt me the most, because, like, the other fans, like, they knew deep down it wouldn't work. And then, fans like me that was trying to get on board with it, to try and create, like, a bit of positivity and stuff, and it just...
It's hard. It's hard trying to. Don't get on our podcast. There's 8 of us. We've all got different opinions on lots of things. There is people on our podcast that don't like the chairman, hate the chairman, back the chairman. But for us, Xisco Muniz was just 100% Wednesday fans just did not get him. Just didn't like the style of play, how he wanted to play, the players that he were picking. I mean, he didn't even bother picking Marvin Johnson, who now in the last 3-4 weeks has been one of our standout performances. He had him training in Dubai on his own for the start of the season. So some of the decisions he was making was done, and that. That sounds
like Rooney at Blues, mate. We had a lot of injuries. I mean, I don't know. I mean, it's like you said it with Birmingham, but you don't follow them so much. You talk me with Sheffield Wednesday, I don't know your circumstances in terms of like injuries and stuff, you know what I mean? But we had a lot of injuries, all in one like spell. So like, I understand like he was picking like certain players, but like every week the squad was different. And he was playing like players in like positions that they'd never played before, or like it wasn't the strongest position, but like each week it was changing, and like it was just like really strange, you know what I mean? And I don't know if that was the same with you guys, like when you. Yeah, exactly the same.
Yeah, it sounds the same. We brought in 13 players in the summer, so we obviously got promoted from League One. We had to strengthen the squad, really did. So brought in 13 players. And some of them aren't good enough. Some of them, we don't know who made if it was a Xisco appointment or if it was somebody at the back room upstairs made the appointments. Some of them were just not appointments that players that we thought we'd bring in. And we did have injuries, and it was just the same. It was like a bit of a roulette with what positioning. If he was going to play 3 at the back, 4 at the back, 5 at the back, it was bingo. It was basically bingo, picking squad numbers on the back of the shirts out. Who's going to play where? And a lot of the fans, yes, we know you've got to rotate sometimes, but we were getting pumped every week virtually. and you just want a bit of stability, and we're not got that. And I mean, we're talking similarities between us and Birmingham. It must be the same. It must have been because for Rooney to not, and we'll get on to our game, but for Rooney not to get any sort of consistency, and like you're saying, he's just picking players that are putting.
He was, mate.
It was like, is it round pegs in square hole type of thing? It's for fans. You go and you pay your money, you turn up week in, week out, and you see that, and it snowballs because the results aren't coming in, and even the way you're playing. Don't get me wrong. If you turn up on a Saturday and you see the Blues like play out the skin and lose 1-0, you go, oh blooming heck! You can see a bit of way Rooney wants to play. All right, you've lost, but it's a bit of a. All right, we can see that, and that's. I'm only speaking on that's how we've had it with Danny Rule at Sheffield Wednesday. Is that his first game against Watford? We played Watford away. We lost at 1-0, 85th minute, but he'd been I think he'd been at Hillsborough 4 days, but instantly you could see a total different team. They do say, don't they? Players play for managers, and if that manager lost 10 on the bounce, like virtually we nearly did, then there is going to be a bit of difference. So for Rooney, probably he went through exactly the same, and like at least he got a win or a couple of wins where Cisco didn't even bother doing that. So
he got 2 wins out of 15.
Yeah, he didn't get any in 10. So I think Rooney he's got a better win percentage.
I don't know. It sounds like he has. But yeah, so after those 5 games, we then met on the 6th game of Rooney being in charge, and that was on the 25th of November. I know you don't want me to say it, but I've got to say it. Blues 1-2-1. But it was a close game. I mean, you scored first, didn't you? At 45 minutes just before half time. And then we equalised in extra time of the first half. It was a close game, wasn't it?
It was, mate. I went. It was my first time to St Andrews. And I've got to say, I'll not lie to you, we were positive. We were really positive because we just drew at home with Leicester, scored in something like the 93rd minute, I think, to equalise. Top of the league, flying high Leicester. So we were buzzing. And obviously we'd seen your results, like you'd lost the last 4 out of 5, like you said, and we were doing well as well. We were playing really well, so we thought this is a chance now to obviously close the gap against, because you were free falling as well. I think you were 16th. I think when we played you, so we were confident. So like I said, got there. Love the ground, great, and everything. It was one to tick off my list, like I said, not being before. And to tell you the truth, we played not bad. We played all right. Yeah. I think.
If anything, I'd say you was the better team.
I was gonna get in the first half. It was a bit. I think we were a better team, but it was definitely a bit nervy from both teams. And I'll admit, I'm going to hold my hands up here. I did the old, I'm just going to go to the toilet and get a pint just before half time. So I missed our goal. So I was on the concourse, and I was in the queue, and it was like, right, okay, sat there, right, what am I going to have? My lad's like, oh, come on, get some food and something. So right, okay, and then that was it. It was like George Byers scored. It was like, we scored, and obviously all the concourse went up, and that was it. It was like, oh, brilliant, great start, first half, right at end of first half.
Yeah,
that didn't last long, did it? 2 minutes later, was it Bacuna?
Yeah.
Bacuna, yeah.
Bacuna, mate, scores on. I think it was the 3rd minute of extra time of the first half, wasn't it? Or in those 3 minutes.
Yeah, it was. I mean, it's the best time scored right at the end of first half. So obviously, but then they all say, don't they? You've got to get your head on because you're going to concede straight after if you're not with it. And obviously Sheffield Wednesday just didn't have the mentality to see the first half out, and obviously really, really shouldn't have conceded before half time. And then the second half was just awful. it wasn't a bit, and then to obviously last 10 minutes to concede against what obviously now is probably may change now, but it were relegation rivals. I've got to say that with yourselves in obviously real poor form, but now you've obviously made the change, and it was a bit deflating. It was a bit deflating because I think probably a draw would have been fair.
A fair result, yeah.
But I do think we should have won that. I really do. I do. But it's one of them, isn't it? It's you got to take your chances and all that. So
yeah. It's football, isn't it, mate? You know, like anything can happen. You know, it doesn't. You know, just who turns up on the day, I suppose, isn't it? Like, and who wants to put the work in and perform. But
it was one of those where. 1-1 would have been probably both managers would not have been happy because we both need the wins, obviously. But would have been a fair result. Would have been a fair. I'll say that. I'm not.
I think it would have gone even more pear-shaped if we would have lost that game now, like from where you were, and obviously Rooney taking over and stuff. I think it would have gone a lot worse if we would have lost it. I think that was a must-win for him, really, like. Because those games, 5 games before, like, it weren't looking good at all then either. So, like, I mean, I was thinking he's got to win this because I'm trying to get on board. I'm trying to be positive, but you know, if you can't beat a team that's below us, that's like in the relegation battle, that is struggling. I don't mean that the wrong way. It's just like as it is at the time. I mean, obviously things are changing now. Hopefully for you guys, but I'm just talking back then.
Yeah, of course.
I think there would have been like serious, even more serious questions, you know.
Yeah,
in the end, they made the right decision and got rid of him.
Yeah, we'd only won one game. We beat Rotherham 2-0 at home, and we were 12. I think we were around about then. We would have been 12 points off relegation. So we were well down there, and I know you were dropping and obviously losing results, but yeah, I mean, for us, it would have been a great result to beat Birmingham. Not to be, and it's not gonna define our season at the minute, but it's it's one of those that you think you're going to look back on and going, Birmingham weren't very good. They've been obviously been beaten 4 out of the last 5 games. And for us not to really take advantage of that is probably our mistake.
But another reason why I wanted to do this podcast as well, Ash, is because I was interested to hear your views on Scott Hogan as well, because I've heard and read various sources and rumours and stuff that you could be potentially signing Scott Hogan. So, I mean, if you could shed some light on that, that'd be interesting, mate.
Yes, mate. Yeah, of course. I think it's quite known in among Sheffield Wednesday fans that we are looking for a striker in January. We've got a young lad, Bailey Cadamartre, who's been at the club since he was 7. I think he is. He's 18, and he's scored 4 goals this season. He's come in, and he's been a revelation. He really has. Really playing really starting games, playing 90 minutes, and he's really good. As backups, we've got Michael Smith, who's been here a couple of seasons now, was at Rotherham. We've got Lee Gregory, who most Wednesdayites love, really took to him. He's a Sheffield lad. He's on the wrong side of 35, if you know what I mean. He's not, and he doesn't fit in the way that Danny Rule wants his forwards to play. Totally different player. So it looks like he may be on his way out. And then we've got Ashley Fletcher, who hasn't scored since I was a lad, I think. So he's not going to get you the goals. Yeah. So there was rumours that from the local journalists that the club are looking at a 30 grand a week striker. Now, I don't know. Don't go wrong. I've not got a clue what Scott Hogan is on, or if he's anywhere near that or anything. But then, obviously, the rumours go round, and I don't know who it was. It must have been at the start of January, just before January, that this rumour about Scott Hogan came out. For me, if we are going to be spending that sort of money or anything like that sort of money, I'm not sure. I'm really not sure, to be honest, mate. It's a hard one, is it? Because it's such a position that we really do need, and it's hard.
Yeah, someone who can put the ball away.
Someone who can put the ball in the back of the net. We're in the position we're in. We're 22nd. We need goals. And goals come at a premium, and we haven't got the money. We really haven't. So
that's what I mean. If it doesn't cost you a lot of money, I think it could be a good move for him.
Yeah.
For us and for you, because I'm one of these fans where I've never I don't know if you're all the same. I'm not one of these fans where if I'm watching the game on the day, I have a little rant and stuff, and then I forget about it. And then we go on to the next week. I look forward to the next week and I always try and find the positives. You know what I mean? So I can never dwell on a player and say, oh, he's crap. And I've never been like that. Anybody that represents Blues, that wears a blue shirt, I'll back anybody. But I think with Scott Hogan, mate, at Blues, his confidence has just been completely shot. So I think it'll do him good to start afresh somewhere. Obviously, like you just said, in terms of money for Sheffield Wednesday, if he's not very expensive now, that could be a good thing. And also, it's a fresh start for him mentally, so he could come good. You don't know, do you? But
the biggest negative is play for Sheffield United, hasn't he, on loan? I think he went out on loan to Sheffield United. So that's the biggest negative for me. The other side of the city, but he's been at Birmingham. What is it? Three seasons now? Is it?
Yeah.
Something like that. Has he been prolific? I'm assuming he's not as prolific, or he's fell out with the management. With the management change with Rooney, will the new man who comes in fancy Scott Hogan? Will he be off the table? So all that sort of stuff, isn't it? When Rooney's there, you can look at these rumours and you think Scott Hogan, right? Okay, there's some legs in that. He's fell out of favour with Rooney. He's not producing, and even in the position, the thing is, how I look at it, and I don't know how anyone else looks at it, is if he's not getting a game for Birmingham, who are struggling for goals themselves, the results haven't been there. Why doesn't Rooney fancy him? Why is he not getting the minutes? So for Sheffield Wednesday to take a chance on somebody who's not had the minutes, is he going to get us the goals that we need as well? And don't get me wrong, it's hard to say that because no one's going to lend you a striker who scored 15 goals this season, are they? Yeah. Do you know what I mean? Or anything like that, because you're in a bit of a catch-22 situation where you need the goals, but the players that are available probably haven't got the goals because the clubs don't want them for whatever reason.
Yeah.
So if Scott Hogan is one of the players that we're looking at, I don't know if you know yourself, Jay, if 30 grand a week is anywhere near what he's earning at Birmingham. If he is this 30 grand a week striker we've been looking at, I don't know. But
nothing's actually been set in stone yet.
No,
to say that he's coming. Nothing's definite.
No, nothing. It's all gone pretty quiet, to be honest, since the initial rumour with the journos and stuff. So it sometimes does, doesn't it? The initial contact or the initial rumours and the reporting comes out and goes quiet for a week, especially in January. Everything probably will get done in the last week. So it's not. He's got goals in him. His record shows that. He does have goals in him. Is he the sort of player that he'll play for? The way that I can just see is that how Bailey Cadamarteri has been playing. He's been playing up front on his own, but he's a real presser. He's got the energy. He's got the pace. He's got the stamina to press. what's Hogan 32 now, something like that.
Mm.
Will he have what it takes to play the way that Danny Rule and Sheffield Wednesday are currently playing?
Mm.
And
Even if it just gets you out the relegation battle, you know what I mean? Like, even if it's just like a temporary, just something just to, I mean, 'cause you haven't got like a lot of money, like you just said, I mean, if you can just get you,
Mate,
like even if he gets the assist, like he's bringing goals in that way, you know what I mean? Like even if fresh pair of legs, fresh head,
mate, if he can come in and from the end of January till the end of the season get us double figures goals. All right, double figure goals or 15 goals and assists, and we survived by one goal. It would be as a real
would be worth it, yeah.
Saviour for Sheffield Wednesday. Of course, because the amount of money that Sheffield Wednesday would have to splash on him is insignificant to what they'd lose by getting relegated. And that goes for any striker that's going to come in, mate. So at the minute, it is, like I say, it's going to be quiet on Scott Hogan. I'm sure if it is something real and tangible and something that our local journalists are great, they're really good. So I'm sure they'll be all over it and being in touch with colleagues in Birmingham to see if there is a real possibility.
Well, yeah, that's pretty much answered my question, mate, to be honest. Yeah, because I weren't sure if it was like set in stone and stuff, you know what I mean? It was just like rumours and speculations, and then you read stuff online, and then you just dig in and dig in and dig in.
It is, mate.
Yeah, I mean, I think it'd do him good personally because his confidence has been shot for a few months now with Blues, and I think it'd do him good to move on.
Yeah. Any players for any club at the minute that aren't getting the minutes that they want, need, deserve. January is a real shop window, isn't it, for anyone? And same for the clubs. If there's anyone that we've just got rid of Tyreek Backinson to Charlton's gone out on loan, and I'm sure there's going to be other players going out, same as yourselves, to make room for players coming in because we do need players. And yeah, if you're going to get rid of Scott Hogan and we're interested, then at the minute, mate, I'm trusting Danny Rule as much as I can. I'll put my money, and if he decides that Scott Hogan's going to be the guy for us, then I'm all on that.
Fair play, mate. That's it, mate. When you got to keep the positivity flowing, you know. I mean, I think we might have sealed the deal today on Tony Mowbray.
Right.
That might be good for us.
I was going to say experience, but bloody hell, there's not many more experienced managers, is there? Tony Mowbray, so he's going to have bags of that. Obviously, selfishly, I hope you drop like a stone. I hope he's rubbish.
Not with Tony Mowbray, mate. If it was Rooney, yeah. But I'm fairly more confident now with Mowbray, mate, to be honest. So I reckon a mid-table finish for us this season.
It was. It did go around. Obviously, the Sheffield Wednesday hashtag and things about obviously Rooney getting sacked because we'd have liked him there a couple more weeks or a month even, just to help us out a little bit more. But your club's got to make the decision. They've got to stick with it, and obviously he had to go, didn't he? He had to go.
Well, he lost the away fans in the end, mate. I think it was Leeds we played. Was the last game of it was Leeds. And he was in charge, mate. They were trying to get on board at the start of the game. Obviously, we was 3-0 down, and they was just chanting for him to go. And if you lose the away fans, the heart and soul of the club, mate, you're pretty much screwed, aren't you?
Yeah, they're the hardcore fans that are able to go home way, pay them money and all that. And like you say, it's a horrible atmosphere for anyone to go to any game when your team's not doing well, your manager's not doing well at all. And yeah, it's probably the best time for it. I mean, harsh, not harsh on Rooney, was it really? Because he wasn't up to it, but he didn't even really have a chance to bring players in either, did he?
Yeah.
So, but that's the time to make your manager change, isn't it? So the new manager does have the money, the time in January to bring players in that hopefully he can work with.
That's it, mate.
Just hope you don't bring in too many good players, you know. I'm horrible to you. I'd say that. I'd say that to Huddersfield podcast. I'd say it to anybody. I'm selfish.
I can take it, mate. I got big shoulders. I can take it.
I just want to yeah, mate. We're all the same, aren't we? It's our team, our club, and we don't want any of us to get relegated, do we?
So who have you got then the weekend?
So we've got an easy tie against Southampton, who haven't lost in 18 games.
Dear.
Yeah, Southampton away on Saturday. Yes, mate. It's.
How do you feel about that one?
It's going to be tough. I'm going myself. I haven't been to Southampton. I'm trying to do as many grounds as I can these next few seasons and past seasons. So, not being myself. So I'm going. It's going to be a hard ask. Really is. Southampton in cracking form.
Yeah, they're a good team, aren't they? Yeah.
Really good. We played them the very first game of the season. We opened the season Friday night. It was Cisco's first game. And we lost. I think they scored in the 86th minute. We lost 2-1. Which on the face of it, you're thinking, that's not too bad because they still had Ward Prowse, they still had Nathan Teller playing before they sold them all in August. So we come out of it with a not a half bad decent result, but they just played us off the park. Different class they were. I know it's a different team now. We're a different team as well. We're a different animal. But it's still a big ask. I'm quite.
Can you hear
that? Quite positive about away games if we get a point, mate, just to keep the momentum going. It'd be great. Obviously, 3 points would be in dreamland, but yeah, a point and thing. Who've Birmingham got? Have you got similar?
Swansea.
So same sort of position, aren't they? They've they made a change with their manager as well, haven't they? So
there's a lot of changes going on in the Championship, isn't there?
Definitely. Plymouth, obviously, they've lost Schumacher to Stoke as well. So it is, mate. It's cutthroat business being a football manager.
I wouldn't fancy. My advice to Rooney is I won't bother going back into it again. I'll just do like TV, like presenting or something, play it safe. But I really would, mate, now after this.
Or he'd probably go back to America with his tail between his legs or take a job in, I don't know, Saudi or something like that, maybe. I don't know. But yeah, he's or Scotland, somewhere easy.
But Ash, thanks so much for doing this with me, mate. I've really enjoyed speaking to you, mate. Honestly, it's been superb, and I wish you all the best for the end of the season.
Mate, it's been a pleasure. Always a pleasure talking about Sheffield Wednesday. It's just what we love doing, isn't it, mate? But yeah, appreciate the chance to do it. Thank you very much for the invite.
Cheers, Ash, and I'll put a link under your under the video as well, so people can find out your channel and stuff as well if you want to have a little look and that.
Mate,
all right.
Thank you very much. Cheers, Jay. Thanks a lot.
Cheers, Ash.